as they come out the final corner. And this is crucial. Jake needs to stay within that 1 second, and that's Harlan with a penalty. Going off track down there, I think it was an incident with Camel Staturer, as they're now 2 seconds behind. Max Wiesel through on Jake Benham as they go into turn 1. And that is Harlem out in the pit lane. Big shame for Harlem. Definitely not the race he would have wanted.
Longer on his Aston Martin, but only just using them to get track position, but they're really not going to last that long, so we'll wait.
That's Ron Hart! Making contact with Otis Lawrence. Sorry to cut you off there. Into turn 1, he was 2 tenths back, went for the dive and hit the rear of Otis Lawrence. Luckily, they both made it through.
Of Legend Rosenberg at the moment in towards turn 1 in the Ferrari, late on the brakes. Rosenberg not giving him an inch. His only appearance in PCF1 at the moment. Longa gives him room, plenty of space, and unfortunately now gets run out wide on the exit there. Of course, you're always going to get shown the outside there, but Rosenberg not letting Longa go through that easily on the inside into the left-hander. Longa later on the brakes on the outside gives him the squeeze, and Longa goes through into P14. But I'd reckon Nathan Barry would much prefer that his teammate was up with him at the moment. Exactly, yeah, so not ideal. In comes Max Wiesel then, can't bring those softs any longer, and is going to be the first man to peel into the pit lane, and he's the only man in... we give him respect as well. He's the only man who tried something different here in this PSGL PCF1. Everyone else is on the hard compound tyre. What that does do though, is give Barry Bormand a bit of breathing space, because he's out of DRS.
One man to speak about, Thomas Ronhart, going around the outside of Otis Lawrence into the chicane. Very nice there, and he's going to go up the inside, makes it through. The Red Bull going to try and fight back around the outside, and they're still going to go, and that's Otis off the track. Big slide from Ronhart, and Otis still keeps that 5th place over Thomas, but now you can see Thomas is getting reckless. He wants to get through on the Red Bull. Obviously, Thomas, one of the quickest drivers, actually going to go through. He's got through on Otis. I didn't see that one coming, and now into 5th. Absolutely amazing from Thomas. Now out the DRS to Merker, but he should be able to gain it back. Down
the main straight, as far as I can see, he does indeed, but he does definitely have to watch his mirrors, because Otis Lawrence is on the attack, dumping the battery down the main straight. Here comes Otis Lawrence again on the inside down the straight, gets on the grass, gets squeezed to the inside of turn number 1. Down the inside goes young Otis Lawrence, and that was brave and bold, and gets himself through again. Absolutely brilliant. But I don't think Ronar wants to settle for this. Here they go again. Ronar on the attack on Otis Lawrence down towards turn 1, dumping his battery down towards the first corner. On the outside this time goes Ronar, but the inside for turn 2. Otis leaves him space. Ronar's up the inside, but again, not giving him an inch is Otis Lawrence. Ronar runs out wide there on the exit. Otis still side by side with him. Ronar just gets himself in front as they come down into turn number 5. Then Otis has to settle behind this time. Proper good scrap here, but what that has done is it's forced Ronar to use his battery, and now he hasn't got really anything to try and attack, because he's out of DRS of Mirko Soriano now. Here comes Wilson on the back of Jake Benham. Jake has basically no answer for this. Round the inside he goes, and I'm seeing Otis thought about a move on Ronar in the back as well, but didn't quite have the ERS to get alongside him, and he had to settle in the end to sit behind Ronar. But again, forcing him into that defence is exactly what he wants to do. But Wilson is on the attack now. He's responding to Mirko Soriano, who's been the first man to pit.
And that's Barry, Jake, Thomas, Ismail stays out, Caratoni, Nico stays out, Dylan Warren's in. So about 5 or 6 of them all choosing to pit. Ishmael, Nicholas, Isvan all going out longer to try and get that overcut on the drivers ahead. And where does Thomas come out? Oh, he's come out ahead of Caraton, behind Jake, and then Wilson Hughes coming down the main straight, and he jumps them all. He jumps Jake Benham. Jake Benham comes out in 12th. That'll be, what, a net P5. Wilson into net P2. Mirko into net P3. Great overcut from Barry, Wilson, Mirko. Absolutely amazing. And yet again tonight, showing his ultimate pace. Obviously, he's got that penalty, but if you take that away, the pace yet again, he's still amazing. Who's that round? Is that Camel Sasha's round at the exit of the stadium section? Luckily, getting out of the way for everyone. I thought that was a Barry for a second because he had the arrow on his screen.
Wiesel could prove a bit of a problem. If he can't get by quickly, well, this is going to be a help for Wilson Hughes, and he's going to need to, and around goes Soriano. He's been hit by Otis, and he's now in the middle of the track, and that is so unfortunate for poor Mirko Soriano. I think he just got hit in the side by Otis Lawrence, and that has unfortunately dropped him down to P10 and promoted Jake Benham up into P4.
Alvaro Caraton also, if you haven't seen much of him, and Barry, that's through on Max Wiesel down at the entrance to turn 1. Max is still going to try and pose a bit of a threat to Barry, and the gap between him and Wilson now 2.9 seconds. Not even looking to get a chance of a P2 today. So that's not what they want. And Ron Hart gaining on the back of Jake, gets through on Jake as they head down to turn 1. Bit of an easy overtake for Thomas, just gets through with the DRS advantage. And they go into turn 1 with Thomas now in the podium place. He started down in 8th.
Down towards turn 1. Here he comes now for P2. Crucial points in the championship. Here comes Thomas Ronar. Wilson does not fight it, lets him straight through, and he'll have the DRS for the attack as well for the next time. But Ronar moves up to P2 and can now try and get away from Wilson Hughes on this lap now. Wilson will want to try and stay with him for the rest of this lap and do the exact same thing that he just did to him. I mean, you can't discount, this was an absolutely dominant performance. The biggest winning margin this season. He's back on the top step. Barry Borman wins the Mexican Grand Prix by 6 whole seconds. Thomas Ronar will cross the line in P2 and minimise the championship loss. Wilson Hughes finishes back on the podium again. Jake Benham is P4 in the end. Caraton is P5.
This broadcast was brought to you by GT Omega, proudly supporting PSGL.